Okay, everybody, GameStop is crashing. It's just going down. And why? Why is it actually going down? But before we get into all of that, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button. And if you don't subscribe to me, that's okay. The like button is pretty cool nonetheless. I hear the like button helps GameStop stock go higher. I'm just throwing it out there. Rumor has it, could be fake news. I'm not sure. I have some insight for you guys as to what's going on so you can learn from this mistake or not learn from the mistake. Obviously, you could be up right now, but that's irrelevant. What's going on with GameStop? And if you look at these news articles, you can kind of see a whole bunch of stuff is happening, right? And so, you know, GameStop's issuing $5 million shares for sale, right? So they're issuing 5 million shares, which more shares you have out there, the more likely they're selling those. So the more likelihood that, you know, the stock's going to go down because more shares are being sold, right? And this is interesting too, because there's shares that are not available. See, a lot of people do the short interest off the float, and that's why I always do it off the shares outstanding, because the company, without approval, can't really initiate and create more shares out of thin air, right? When you do it off the float, that's the available shares, but the company still has some being held. And I believe GameStop's at 50 million afloat, but 70 million shares. They could sell 15. If they're selling these 5 million, they sell another 15 million shares. You think that's going to do the price? When you think about AMC, you know, how much did they do? 25 million? And so these are things you got to kind of think through, is how many shares outstanding does the company have versus, you know, how much the float is. I always do the short interest based off of the shares outstanding, because you can't really initiate any more shares. They can, but it kind of ticks the shareholders off. Usually it has to go through approval, which is why AMC was trying to get the approval done for 500 million more shares. But basically you jump the price of these stocks up by squeezing them so much that these companies that are hurting really bad are going to do what they have to do to sustain their company and sustain their business. This is a bad thing for you if you bought in at $300 yesterday, but it's a great thing for GameStop. They're going to sell 5 million shares, and they're going to have enough money to make them competitive, to get what they need done. And your long-term play, this is going to be great for GameStop. GameStop, the company. Maybe not you, the holder, depending on what you got in at. If you got in at $4, you know, you're rocking and rolling, right? But as of right now, it's not. And then, you know, this other stupid article, clickbait crap. Investors are tired of waiting. That's why everybody's sold because they're tired of waiting. GameStop just went up like 20% yesterday. Oh yeah, they're so tired of waiting. They would have sold a while ago. They would have sold on the day when it's 20% higher, up to over $300. That's when they're tired of waiting all of a sudden. Yeah, doesn't make it. That's a dumb article. Don't even read that crap. And then the other one is the SEC is investigating. And that's my daughter in the background. I apologize. That finds me funny, I guess. She might be the only one. So the SEC is investigating, right? They're investigating cryptos. They're investigating these meme stocks, all these things that, you know, retail investors are doing that is hurting hedge funds all of a sudden, right? And hurting the big guys, right? They're not investigating, you know, into these hedge funds that are, you know, doing things with Robinhood, but they're upset that, you know, the average person's out there making money, because when the average person makes money, it's harder to control them. But that's not. The SEC is always involved in crap, right? So that's not the FUD that you're getting. And if people are selling because of the SEC, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's not like they're coming after you specifically. They're just investigating what's going on, and they're going to build some sort of regulation or rule around it, because that's what they have to do. They have to make rules all the time so that they stay relevant, you know, because they can't have you guys making money. They need the hedge funds making money, because that is the hedge fund's job, is to make money, and retail people are supposed to invest with hedge funds so that you don't, well, not really. Retail investors don't really invest with hedge funds. You guys are supposed to throw your money in mutual funds or index funds, whatever, you know, Dave Ramsey or whatever it tells you to do. Hedge funds are for rich people to put into, and then all the rich people are putting their money in there, and you guys are causing the rich people to lose their money. You're causing hedge funds to lose their money. A lot of politicians have their money selling stuff in hedge funds. So this is a problem for them, because they're losing money. They don't mind you losing money. They don't want to lose money themselves, and they don't want their rich contributors to lose money. So this is a big deal to them, right? So there will be some sort of rules and regulations that are going to come out about this, but blah, 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 blah. It is what it is, right? But that being said, that's kind of where you guys got to think through. So you kind of want to look at your shares outstanding in your short interest. That's going to help alleviate a lot of this problem. But this is a problem that, you know, they have another 15 million shares GameStop does, that they can actually sell. That's their total shares outstanding versus their float. So using float, it can be dangerous because they can sell their insider shares if they want to. And then if they sell them to somebody, just like, what is it, Mudrise or whatever the company was that AMC sold to, that immediately, boom, profited off of that and sold all those on the open market, that becomes a big deal. And that's going to be across the board. So maybe focus on the ones that have higher short interest compared to the shares outstanding, which is the measure. I have a video where I did it. I showed you guys, like, I don't know, it was like 20 or 30 stocks that have that high short interest based off of the total shares outstanding and not off of the float. It's down here somewhere in my videos. And you can take a look at that and see if any of those are worth your investment. But this is not financial advice. This is not investment advice. This is just information, guys. And I just want to kind of give you the reason why GameStop, AMC, and all these other ones are crashing today. It's because of the potential of these companies trying to survive and keep their businesses profitable, or at least afloat. So floats. And by using initiating more shares and or selling the shares outstanding that they have inside the company can cause this kind of a crash. So be safe out there. Don't over leverage if you're not aware of the risk. Invest smart, and if you're in there, maybe you should hold, maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. Like I said, not investment advice, but hopefully you didn't lose a lot of money, and hopefully you're up still, and hopefully it turns things around after this news gets out of the way, and hedge funds have to cover some of their calls, their shorts. I'm sorry. So with that, guys, hope you like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.